in the national CADCKE program in Kenya. Let's put our hands together to appreciate Patric Okwara as he comes to give his remarks as representing the entire country of Kenya. And he's also going to bring us the guest of honor today, who is Dr. Sangele, who is also a great man in Kenya, who is the founder and the executive director of SAPTA, and also the patron of SAPTA Kibra. So help me to welcome Patric Okwara. Thank you and welcome, sir. God bless you.
The guest of honor, government officials who are here today, my baby na mabwana, hamjambo. I'm so happy to be here today to join you from the national office CADCKE. We are so proud of what you are doing. We came to basically throw our weight behind you to let you know that we are working together to reduce the substance use menace in this region. Just to let you know what we do and to give you some updates regarding CADCKE and why we are here today. CADCKE means Community Anti-Drug Actions of Kenya, the national agency or body that has brought together diverse sectors from grassroots coalitions to be able to fight drugs collectively. Currently, we exist in 4 counties in Nairobi, Mombasa, Kwale, and Murang'a. In Nairobi, we have 3 coalitions, and this is Kibra, we have Kasarani, and we have Madare coalition. In Mombasa, we have 2. This is Muvita and Likoni, and then in Kwale, we have again 2. This is Matuga and Msambweni. And then in Murang'a, we have 1 coalition in Kandara sub-county. Why am I saying this? To encourage you to know that we are here and you have other brothers and sisters who are embracing this model called the Coalition Model of Substance Use Prevention. This model is new in our country. We have our mother coalition of coalitions called CADCA, that is the Community Anti-Drug Actions of America, that has over 5,000 coalitions in the US and 200 internationally in other countries where Kenya currently is. And we are supporting this coalition model that has been researched on and has been seen to work. Why? Because research has shown that when men and women, when communities rise up in their various places, then we are able to see change. And we are here to advocate for community-led interventions. The problems of Kibra, the problem of substance use in Kibra here, cannot be solved by people of Starehe or Likoni or Mombasa. They can only be solved by people of Kibra. And that's why we are encouraging communities taking the drive on substance use reduction or prevention in their own hands. It's a model that has been tested to work. We want to bring together diverse sectors. We want to bring together men. We want to bring together youth, women. We want to bring together the clergy. We want to bring together schools, the media. We need to bring together the county government, and we are so happy Sabala is here, the county government, the national government, and we are so happy of the chiefs who are here today. So everybody must be able to be brought together if we need to fight and succeed on this drug. Why? I mean, in this war. Why? Because substance use is a multidimensional and multi-sectoral problem. Every person, every other sector is affected. And that is why we need to do what? We need to encourage communities to be able to take this boat by its horns. Yeah? We need to mobilize diverse sectors. Can we today say that we target 5,000 members in this coalition in the next 1 year? Is it possible, Chief? Yes. I was actually impressed by saying you want to add 100 leaders to this coalition. We can actually target 5,000 members in this coalition. I know it's very possible to do that. So that is what we are here for. To tell you briefly on how this methodology works, we use something that is called the Strategic Prevention Framework, where we begin with assessment. We have 5-6 items there. The first thing, we do some research, we do some assessment to be able to discover what are the local conditions here, what are the problems in any given geographical region. And these people here, the core of this coalition, will be coming to your houses. They'll be coming to you, Chief, asking you to help them reach out to the various members here as they do this research to try and find out which place is more affected, which ward is highly affected, what are the resources there, what are the local conditions, that you can be able to use. So community assessment comes first, and it will be done very soon. We have a target of that 1st May to have the report of the community assessment report. So please, my charge to you is to work together with them. Count yourself a member of this coalition. Let's have some register going around today. The people that are here, they need to register, be part of this great movement that brings together everybody without looking down on you to be able to fight this thing. The second item, after doing some research, doing community assessment, is what we call capacity building. After we have discovered the weaknesses that are there, the gaps that exist, we shall again come to capacity build you based on what is required. So that will come in at some point. And then we shall retreat, all of us as members of this coalition, and do some planning. That becomes very key, because if we don't do things the right way, if we don't plan, then we plan to fail. So before we go further, before we know, like for example, how many schools or how many bars exist near the schools, we need to be aware of how many they are. We need to be clear of where the drug peddlers, or rather the drug dens are. And we have SAFTA here working on a very wonderful program on injecting drug use, where they're targeting the drug dens. So we need to be aware of how many drug dens exist here. Yes? So that should be brought out by the community assessment, and then as we retreat in the planning session, we shall be clear about what our roles are and who is doing what without causing any confusion. The planning is very unique in the sense that we draw something called the logic model. A logic model allows us to have a picture of the problem, the local conditions here, the risks that are making that problem to escalate, and the resources within Kibra here that we can leverage on, be able to address what? Substance use. We'll be taught that if you stick to this together with these members on how this logic model looks like. It's a one-page document, a one-page roadmap that identifies the problem, identifies the local conditions, the resources, and the interventions that we need to put on board to address this problem. And how do our interventions look like? Our interventions are what we call comprehensive interventions. In other words, they target two things. They target the individual and the environment. And that's what makes this model very unique. We are targeting what? The individual user of the drug, and we are targeting the environment that this person lives. Are you together? Yes, because we have to do both. We have to empower the person, we have to make the person be able to become drug-free, but at the same time, address the environment where they stay. It becomes clear as you stick to your core team here. Then after the planning session, we shall come to implementation, where all of us are going to be involved. Everybody here, the men, the youth, the clergy, will have a role to play during the implementation phase. And therefore we need you. We are talking about 5,000 strong at the end of this year, with everybody knowing what they need to do in their role to address this substance use. So the interventions that we are going to roll out are going to involve everybody, because we cannot fight these drugs alone. We cannot leave it to NACADA alone. No. NACADA is also throwing its weight behind us, and we have multiple people that are throwing their weight behind us. And if we have the community around us, then nothing will be impossible for us here in Kibra. We have begun very well with the prayers, and we thank you so much for that powerful prayer that you have been able to pray. So we are hoping things are going to be very okay as we go on. So after the implementation, as we do the implementation, we again want to be cautious about these programs we are rolling out being culturally acceptable. What we call cultural competence. In other words, we cannot bring the interventions of Likoni and try to implement them here. They can't work. Are you together?
Yeah.
We cannot bring the US way of doing things and bring them here. They can't work. We have to make the interventions in Kibra be culturally acceptable. They must be culturally be appealing and implementable to the people in Kibra. And that's what makes this model very unique. We want to be able to drive intervention that can work here, not bring things from the US or Starehe to bring to Kibra. No, because Kibra has its own what? Local conditions that are very different from those in Matuga or Kandara. So the aspect of cultural competence is something that we are going to be aware of, even as we carry out what? The interventions. They must be able to work here. Then the other thing on that SPF is something that we call sustainability. And the programs that we are planning to roll out, are they sustainable? How are they going to move, let's say 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line? That is something that we are going to have a discussion. All of us that are here today, a day is going to come when we are going to have a discussion on how we are going to make the programs here. After doing the community assessment, and we have done the capacity building, and we have done the planning aspect, we have a roadmap of what we want to do. We must have a discussion again in a place like this of discussing something about making them sustainable to be able to live to the rest of times. I've talked about CADCA in America. They have been here for the last more than 10 years doing the same thing, and they have more than 5,000 coalitions. So how can we make these programs in Kibra be sustainable? And finally, the other thing that we shall do as we roll out this program is evaluation.